Well, firstly, let me congratulate Mary Portas for raising the issue and raising the profile. She's quite right, she's a public figure and it's done that. But this is a very serious subject and it goes beyond that. And I think you've got to have recommendations in a review that are solid and sound and business-like in their approach. And I'm afraid I didn't believe that that review contained that. I was very critical of it. So instead of just being a critic, I decided to marshal 8 other professional people to produce our own review, which we're going to present at the parliamentary reception Wednesday of this week, and we've released the recommendations, of which there are 31 today.
Let me just go back to the original question. What was it about Mary's reports that you felt didn't ring true or was missing?
Well, it didn't highlight the structural changes that are taking place in the retail industry, as can be seen by the fact that within the 18 months following the publication of the review, no less than 8 major chains have gone bust. Now, that was obvious to anyone with an insight to retailing that those difficulties prevailed, and that wasn't identified. So the structural changes taking place because of the economic situation is one thing, but then the technology influence is another.
Right. On those very points, don't we need to accept that industries do get wiped out by technology, they get wiped out by changing consumer behaviour, and that's what's happening to the high street? It's the sort of retail version of the typewriter.
We have to accept that, and so we have to reinvent our town centres and our high streets in a very different way. They have to become community hubs. We've got to get populations back into those town centres. So that's why housing, education, health, entertainment, leisure is all very important.
Right, so it's not just about coming up with some whizzy idea to fill a shop. Those days are over. It's not a question of, OK, we just need to find a retailer that people want. They will always hereafter be shopping in a different way. You won't hear me say this very often, Bill, but I thought Nick Bowles, the planning minister, had a valid point when he said it's time to bring back housing into the high streets, because 1, we have a housing shortage, and 2, if you bring people into the high streets, well, it revives the need for shops.
We welcomed his statement. We've been saying it for the last 18 months. It's exactly what we've got in our review. However, the most important thing that's missing is that A, town centres and high streets are a big, big business, bigger than health, bigger than education, yet we don't have a minister responsible. 2...
Well, we have a business minister, don't we?
No, but it's appended to him. And, that's not good enough. We need a separate minister for high streets and town centres. They are the lifeblood of our economy going forward. 2, we need local authorities to produce business plans that go out 20 years, the vision of the high street tomorrow in terms of community hubs and how they're going to be technologically wired. That's important.
I fear, Bill, that you're going to be banging at a closed door here. I mean, if you think about how the government has behaved, or governments have behaved in recent years, I mean, the closure of all those high street post offices, what a disaster. My hometown, Brentwood in Essex, a beautiful 1939 red brick post office right in the centre of the high street. It was closed. It still doesn't have a tenant today.
Precisely, Jeff, and that's the criticism I have. Government is out of touch. Those post offices have an ideal position in every town to be a click and collect centre, don't they?
Yes.
How many times have you been on the internet and got that card through your door? Sorry, you've got to go 25 miles and pick up your parcel. You'd pay an extra few pounds to collect it at your post office. But, the most important thing to understand about all of this is that precariously poised are 20,000 small retailers out there that are dependent on action from this government to take away the burden of the rates burden that they're currently handling. Yes. And we need to give those recommendations to the government in such a solid way that we say, shape up and look at this, and we're not going away. It's common sense, and we're business people. We're not here because of PR, we're not here for our brands. We're an independent body. We're trying to do the best to get our towns and cities back on form.
All right, Bill, Grimsey, nice to see you. Many thanks for your time. Long day for you.
It has been a long day, a very long day, and I'm looking forward to some dinner and perhaps a glass of wine.